And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 30 of Kids Deserve It. We hope you've been enjoying our weekly chats with educators and game changers from around the country. Don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes. Today, we're actually on a little Google Hangout because Blab's not working, but you can still listen on iTunes just as well.
And if you haven't heard the news, our Kids Deserve It book is out and doing great on Amazon, so we hope you'll pick up a copy and let us know what you think.
Awesome guest today on the show, but first we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Adam Welcome, former elementary principal. New job is Director of Innovation and Technology.
And I'm Todd Nesloni, elementary principal in Navasota, Texas, and we have our guest with us today. Lindsay, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Stompenhorst. I'm an elementary school principal of a 3rd through 5th grade building in Northern Illinois.
Awesome. And we want to remind our viewers to participate in the chat as well on social media using the hashtag KidsDeserveIt.
So, Lindsay, we have a few questions for you. So, for those who don't know about you, Lindsay, tell us about yourself.
Well, I started off teaching 3rd grade. I'm from a very rural area, grew up on a farm, and I remember walking out of the school on my 3rd day as a new teacher, and my mentor was walking out with me. We were standing in the parking lot just talking about our days and how the school year was going so far, and she turned to me and said, "You know, you're going to be a principal someday." And I thought she was crazy. I thought I don't want any part of that. No, thank you. This is enough for me. I'm set. I'll be here till I'm 60 years old or whatever. Well, here I am. Obviously, have you heard the quote before? Something like, "If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plan." Yeah, that's pretty much how it went through for me. And so I was an assistant principal last year at a middle school. And this year was my first year. We just finished up as head principal of an elementary school.
Awesome. So, since you did just finish your first year, what are some of your biggest takeaways?
Well, I would say I started keeping a journal this year at the beginning of the school year, and I looked back this morning before our podcast, and my very first journal entry said something to the effect of, "I feel so isolated." Last year as an AP, I could walk down the hall to the principal's office and say, "Hey, I got this cool idea. What do you think about it?" He would give me feedback. We'd bounce ideas back and forth, and then we'd come up with a plan. This year, That was it. And so I think my biggest takeaway is making sure that if you're an elementary school principal, you're connected, because being connected with people is so important. Right. Without someone to bounce ideas off of or steal ideas from, or someone to give you a kick in the pants when you need it, I think that you can feel really isolated.
You got to get off your island. It's a chapter in the book.
Oh, for sure.
So, what is one of your favorite things to do as principal, Lindsay?
Oh, that's hard. I have so many favorites. I think dancing. I love dancing with the kids. They haven't heard me sing yet, but I have that in the works for next year a little bit. I think just being goofy, throwing yourself out there, making sure that, the more I make a fool of myself, the more the kids enjoy themselves. Have you guys heard of beard head? Have you heard of those kinds of hats? Beard head? Oh, yeah. Have I got a treat for you? Let me just show you something real quick. The day that I walked out, it was like 10 degrees outside, and we had outside recess, and I was welcoming kids as they were coming in. But before I went outside, I put this on. Let me just show you real quick. I know for those of you listening, you can't see this, but it's awesome. Do you see it? Isn't this awesome?
That's awesome. Pretty
cool. It's a hat. Yeah, it's a hat with a beard attached to it. And so when the kids saw me, they just were cracking up and pointing and laughing, and the whole day went amazing, I think, because I just threw myself out there and was being silly.
Especially in elementary school. When the kids see that you're real and that you're just a person, I think it just lets their guard down and lets them more comfortable, and they can learn better and are just more comfortable. Love Beardhead. I got to check that out for sure.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's awesome. They have all different styles too. This is like the straight beard, but they have curly ones. So
I
you
love it.
yeah, you should check it out. It's pretty awesome. For those of us who can't grow beards, it's pretty cool.
So, Lindsay, what was school like for you growing up?
Actually, coming from a rural area, my graduating class had 18 kids in it.
Whoa.
And yes, whoa, not my grade, not my class, my whole grade. So like everyone, the entire senior class was 18 students. And I would say it was really limiting. You know, only having 18 people in my class really gave me a narrow perspective. And so I think going off to college and, you know, meeting a ton of new people just broadened my horizons. I remember the day I called home and told my mom that I was going into education and that would be my major. She thought it was hysterical. And she laughed on the phone. She said, I didn't even know you liked kids. Well, here I am now. And she's pretty happy. So I would say school was good, but limiting in some ways.
Mhm.
So, Lindsay, if you had one wished happened more in education with our kids, just one.
My wish is that instead of people viewing the next generation in the context of the next generation, you know, that tone they get when they talk about the kids coming up, I wish they said it with more excitement and with more positive influx in their voice, like they were excited about it instead of dreading it. I want to be the one to share the story of the next generation, because the next generation of kids are awesome. But if we spend so much time looking at, you know, the negative choices that kids sometimes make, let's face it, we all make bad choices once in a while. It doesn't mean they're bad kids. It just means they made a bad choice. It's our job to try and redirect and to help them make a good choice, you know? And so I think that's my big thing right now is it should be the next generation. Like, we're so excited about it because I'm excited about it. And that's what I want everyone else to know, too, is that, you know, these are awesome kids. You just got to find it. You just got to find what's awesome.
Right.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
or you got to give them new chances every day.
So, Lindsay, when you're having one of those
Exactly.
rough, tough, get out of bed days, what do you do to kind of kick your butt into gear and get yourself together?
Well, I have a motto, and it's something that I share with limited people, but I'll share it with you guys today. It's it's fake it till you make it. And there are days that I wake up and I think, I just want to stay in bed. It's raining outside, you know, just daunting to-do list ahead of me. But if I put on a smile and fake it for the first 5 minutes of the school day, I don't have to fake it anymore, because then it comes natural. I found that my attitude rubs off on my staff, rubs off on my kids. And so if I come to school in a bad mood and share that bad mood with others, pretty soon my bad day has gotten worse because everyone else's day is worse. And so if I fake it just for a few minutes, you know, 9 times out of 10, I find a reason then or an excuse to be happy the rest of the day because they help me bring me out of my funk.
Right.
You know, you got to keep it real. I can't tell you how many times I've woken up or on my way to school, I'm like, ugh. And then I see that first kid and give that first high five, that first bump, and it does. It just totally turns your mojo around, and you're like, oh,
No
now I'm
doubt.
ready to be here. Totally. So, Lindsay,
You know,
who
there
is
was a day
someone
at
that
school. There was a day at school this year that I came to school and I was in a funk and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give every single kid a high five today. Every kid. And that took forever. That took forever to give every single kid a high five. But I felt so good afterwards. I was like superhero. I can conquer the world.
Love it. So, Lindsay, who is someone that inspires or challenges you to be better?
Well, I think starting off in my principalship, I started listening to podcasts. And the first couple that I ran across were Transformative Principal by Jethro Jones, and then also, Principal PLN and Transformative Principal. Those are the two kind of go-tos for me that I just kind of accidentally came across. And then they started talking about Voxer. And I heard it so many times that I thought, I've just got to see what it's like. I've got to see what I'm doing. And so I jumped in head first. And some people that inspire me, well, first of all, I'm looking at 2 of them right now in front of me. And then also, I have a Moms as Principals Voxer group. And I think it's a unique dynamic to be mom and a principal at the same time. And so those are my go-to. I need to vent, or want feedback or, need a little motivation, they're definitely my go-to.
Right.
Nice.
Well, every week we like our guests to leave a challenge for our viewers. So, Lindsay, what's your challenge for this week?
Well, my challenge kind of goes along with, what I want for kids, in finding the positivity in this generation. And so my challenge for our listeners is to find a reason to tell kids how awesome they are. Whether that's, during the school year, when you're at the store over the weekend, if you see a kid doing something awesome, tell them, share it with them, make it a big deal.
I love that. Thank you, everyone, for watching the show. Lindsay, so great to have on you. Thanks for being flexible, as we all know that we need to be in education. When technology doesn't work right. Thanks for your energy. Thanks for all you do. We're going to be off for a couple weeks from the show because I'll be traveling a little bit. But remember to use the hashtag #KidsDeserveIt, and also @KidsDeserveIt. Our book's on Amazon. It's in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock, but Amazon gets it back in stock really quick. So thanks again, and everybody have a great week.